do you think many people actually set very broad, abstract goals? Like, for example, I want to be muscled, or I want to be skinny, or I want to be healthy. But yeah, how does that actually look like?
Yeah.
And then they actually kind of forget of the steps, how to get there, or even get overwhelmed because they want that, but they have not thought about, okay, maybe I should should reduce the intake of the carbs, or I should do actually more exercise. I should just sell my car, for example. I don't know, these kind of things. What do you think about that? What that?
Yeah. Okay. The reason a lot of times people have goals and they forget about them, or they give up, is that it's a new priority in a life that's already filled with priorities.
Yeah.
So it needs to be pushed and shoved kind of in between all those other priorities. And if you don't change small things, it's not going to happen. It's not going to work. And a lot of times people set a huge goal, from never running to I want to run a marathon.
Yeah.
From eating meat 2 times a day to I'm going to go vegan. It's too big of a change. It's too drastic. So, Ariana Huffington from the lady that set up Huffington Post, and now she has Thrive, and she writes beautiful books. She has this method that the steps towards that goal need to be too small to fail. And I love that you break down what you want to do and make the steps so small that you can't fail. And there, for me, around the corner comes the whole thing about motivation versus habits. So a lot of times people wait for motivation. I want to be inspired. I want to feel it before I can do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. Motivation comes and it goes. It's not always there. So it's safer to build habits and to make habits small. For instance, if you say, I want to go run every day before work, okay, that's a goal. But then you need to make the habits. You need to go to bed kind of early, maybe not drink at night. You need to set an alarm. Maybe you should put your alarm out of reach so you can't snooze.
Indeed.
Maybe you should put your running clothing already on the chair so you don't have to look for it in the morning. Or maybe you should even sleep in your running clothing. You want to make the obstacles small and accessible, or make the goal accessible.
Yeah. For example, during Corona, I run a lot, and I'm very easily cold. But what I did in winter days, I put my running shoes on the heater at night. So like when I went into my running shoes, I knew like it's hot, it's warm, and I can just go in the freezing cold. Like that was
awesome.
One of the preparations.
It's wonderful. But that's a perfect example from changing small things in your environment. So you change some habits because you wanted to do it every day, or you want to do it a lot. So that's a habit. And then you change small things in your environment, like this one, because if my shoes are cold and I'm cold, it's a huge obstacle. I need to take that obstacle away and make the goal accessible.